A look at the top 10 in FCS. College football is here, so we're back on the Big Mountain to bring you an update. Want to talk about the FCS programs, focus on some of the schools that we've talked about here on the Big Mountain over the past year and a half. Let's take a look at the top 10 as voted in the coaches poll here. 6 teams are undefeated near the top of the FCS poll. They include North Dakota State, South Dakota State, Tarleton State, Montana, Tennessee Tech, and Lehigh. North Dakota State here receiving 26 first place votes, looking to get back to that championship game and win another championship. Let's look at strength of schedules for these top 10 schools. Montana State comes in as the hardest strength of schedule, number 2 in all of FCS, behind only Portland State. The Bobcats have already faced Oregon and South Dakota State. Both of those games were losses, unfortunately, there for the Bobcats. At 13th here in strength of schedule, we have UC Davis. They've already played Washington. Of course, this team that we're following and a school that we're following closely as they get ready to transition to the Mountain West and everything except for football. Here in 22nd in the strength of schedule is South Dakota State. They already have wins over Montana State and Youngstown State. At 27th is Illinois State. They have played Oklahoma and North Dakota State. At 32nd is Montana. They've played North Dakota State and North Dakota, not North Dakota State, but North Dakota and Idaho. Tarleton State here at 38th in terms of strength of schedule. Of course, they came out with that huge win at Army there in West Point. Then you've got North Dakota State, Southern Illinois, Lehigh, and Tennessee Tech. The average here for the top 10 is 44.5, so you see that cutoff line of the schools that are above the average strength of schedule there in FCS for their top 10. Both the Dakotas, the Montanas, Tarleton State, of course, has been discussed here on the Big Mountain as possible targets for the Mountain West and looking for expansion into the future. As we have said, and I continue to say, as of right now, it appears only North Dakota State and Tarleton State have any sort of real shots at a possible invitation here over the next couple years. We'll see how things go. UC Davis, of course, as I said, they're going to be joining the Mountain West here next year. Except for football, it's going to remain in the Big Sky, one of the top conferences there in FCS. We do expect this football program to advance to the FBS level in the coming years. Not exactly sure when that's going to be. They have some stadium things I think that they want to do, some facility types of things that they want to do before they make that move. But I would anticipate seeing the Aggies moving up to FBS here in the not too distant future. Their lone loss, of course, was to Washington, but they have difficult games versus Idaho and Montana State later this year. Another school we've talked about that, of course, we don't have here in the top 10 because they're not ranked is Sacramento State. They currently sit at 2-3. Their strength of schedule is 28th, so have been playing a more difficult schedule. Their losses here came to South Dakota State, Nevada, and just recently Cal Poly. They have future games that are going to be somewhat difficult against Montana versus Idaho and versus UC Davis to end the season. So we'll see how that go-go offense continues to try to progress in that first year for Coach Marion. And here in the next week and a half, I'm going to be traveling to Tarleton State, the undefeated Texans. I'll be visiting them for their game versus West Georgia, and that's going to be a lot of fun. That's their homecoming weekend. Really anxious to take in their campus, take in their facilities. As you guys know, it's a school we have been following very closely, kind of pounding that drum here for a little while, so I'm really anxious to be able to visit and view those facilities here firsthand. We'll, of course, be bringing you some content from my visit there in Tarleton State as well. And they have, really big games here to end the season. Not just that West Georgia, but they got Abilene Christian, they've got Austin Peay. So some challenges there in the United Athletic Conference for them. But of course, they're sitting there undefeated with their hopes of moving into the upper echelon of the FCS. When you talk North Dakota State, South Dakota State, they want to be right there, at least until they move to FBS, because as we know, they are ready to move to FBS, and that's going to happen here in the not too distant future. So just had to bring you a quick FCS update. A lot of these schools in the top 10 are the schools that we have been talking about here on the Big Mountain. It's great to see them having fantastic seasons, at least to start the season so far. So I want to do a quick FCS update for you guys. Hey, we thank you guys for watching this. If you're a Mountain West fan, I am going to go through the entire Mountain West, talk about my predictions for this different programs and where they're at right now, about halfway through the season. I'll tell you the schools that are meeting my expectations, those that maybe are exceeding, and a few that have been below my expectations for this year. So that'll be a lot of fun. That'll come out tomorrow. And of course, we have our live pick show tomorrow, Wednesday evening as well. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe if you like our content, and we'll see you next time on the Big Mountain.